All right, let's talk about another multi-tenant application. We have done this several times from scratch. We have used the multi-tenant module from DevExpress that I believe at some point will replace every custom implementation that we have done. At the beginning of XAF Blazor, we even use cookies, and XAF Blazor use cookies in their authentications, and we have done all tenants in a single database, every tenant in a different database, a host database to share uh, to share common tables, common records, and so on. So in this case, basically, simply we have a master database that we get to it with the admin user. The admin user is basically a super user. Is like a super user that is able to create new locations or tenants. So let's say again, let's go and create one tenant one. Let's do another one, tenant two. Let's do another one, tenant three. And let's save and close, save and close, save and close. So we have three tenants. Let's add Hoche, and he will have access to tenant one, tenant two. Let's add, all right, let me add Hoche. And actually, let's add one more. That will be me, Javier. Javier. And Javier will have access to, actually, to all the tenants. That's it. And we can add one more. Let's say Walter. Walter, he will have access to just one tenant. Right. So with that being said, in this case, we're using the tenant name as the database name. And we are in the box, so we actually are even creating the database on the fly. That will not be for production, but basically it's just to show the proof of concept. Now, if I log out now, basically I log in with Hoche, for example, and I have the selection of tenants that he's allowed to log in. I click OK. And in this case, if everything goes right, it should create the tenant one database and allow them to log in. Let's see it. Give it a second. Let's move. Now I got to here. All right. Now, if I open the detailed view of the user, you will see that right now it's in the current database tenant one. I can log out now. I can go back to Hoche. Now I can log into tenant two. We create the database again. And if I go back here to my Navicat and I refresh, I have tenant one here, and soon I should have tenant two. So if I go now, it's on tenant two. Let me refresh. I have my tenant two database here. Now, if I log off now and I use Walter as the user, because it only has one tenant, it doesn't show the pop-up and it goes straight right in. All right, that's all for this video. Basically, wanted to show one of the common configuration that we have in place and go from there. All right, guys, see you all on the next video.